The Syrian civil war began with a cry for freedom, but turned into one of the deadliest conflicts of our time. From protests on the streets to a battleground for world powers, Syria's journey has reshaped the Middle East. And now, even after the fall of the Assad regime in 2024, the war isn't over. In this video, we break down the complex reality of Syria today. Who is President Ahmad al-Shara? Why are ethnic tensions still burning? And what role are countries like Israel, US, and the Gulf states playing behind the scenes? Stay tuned because understanding Syria is key to understanding the future of West Asia. Welcome to ETAIS PCS. This is the 8th lecture in the series of international relations which we have recently launched on our YouTube channel. So let's begin. The Syrian civil war erupted in 2011 amidst the Arab Spring, sparked by widespread dissatisfaction with President Bashar al-Assad's authoritarian regime. The unrest was rooted in long-standing issues like government corruption, economic stagnation, and suppression of political freedoms. When the regime responded violently to peaceful protests, the situation escalated into a brutal civil war. Over time, the conflict became deeply fragmented, involving Syrian government forces, rebel groups such as Free Syrian Army and Islamist factions, Kurdish militias such as Syrian Democratic Forces, terrorist groups including Islamic State of Iraq and Syria, and there were involvement of foreign actors such as Russia and Iran supported the Assad regime. US, EU and Gulf states were anti-Assad, that is, they wanted to destroy the power of Assad in Syria. Secondly, you must know what was the Arab Spring. It was a wave of protests that began in Tunisia in 2010, spreading across Egypt, Libya, Syria, Yemen and more, all demanding democracy, justice and an end to authoritarian rule. UPSC in 2014 has framed an question that Arab Spring originally started in which country? So the right answer will become Tunisia. Coming on to the Arab Spring, some regimes collapsed, others fought back brutally, and the region has never been the same. What is the current scenario in Syria? Though Bashar al-Assad's regime fell in 2024, Syria remains deeply fractured. Armed clashes are persistent in various regions, driven by sectarian tensions, local militias, and unresolved grievances. In July 2025, a deadly confrontation in southern Sovidia between Druze and Sunni Bedouin militias claimed over 1,000 lives, which underscores the fragility of peace. The successor of Bashar al-Assad is Ahmad al-Shara, which is considered as a controversial successor. Since January 2025, Ahmad al-Shara has served as Syria's president. He is formally affiliated with Al-Qaeda and remains designated as a terrorist by the United States and has a history linked to violence against minorities. His leadership has been marred by allegations of ignoring sectarian killings, difficulty in managing ethnic conflicts, lack of inclusive reforms in the new interim constitution. The most important question in current scenario with regard to Syria is, what are the ethnic and sectarian roadblocks to national unity? In order to understand this thing, you must know about Alawites, Kurds and Druze. Who are Alawites? These are Assad's traditional power base which mainly resides along the Mediterranean coast. Tensions with the current regime escalated in March 2025, which led to deadly confrontations with the government forces and the death of 1,500 plus Alawite civilians and fighters. Second are Kurds. The Kurd operates a semi-autonomous region which is known as Rojava in oil-rich northeast Syria, with military backing from the Syrian Democratic Forces. After initially resisting integration, a March 2025 accord led to partial acceptance of Ahmad al-Shara's terms. Yet, Kurdish leaders feel betrayed due to lack of constitutional protections and are now demanding extended timelines and international oversight, especially from US and France, to implement the agreement. Thirdly, you must know who are Druze. About 5 lakh Druze live in Syria, mostly in Suvidia. The community rejected the interim constitution, especially clauses seeking to disarm their militias. There are ongoing clashes with Bedouin militias, allegedly state backed, led to Israeli airstrikes until a US brokered ceasefire occurred on 19 July 2025. Israel is home to 1,50,000 Druze, cites protection of Druze minorities to justify its military presence in southern Syria, including expanding control over Golan Heights. So, what are the geopolitical and regional dynamics? Countries like Turkey and Gulf states have recognized Ahmad al-Shara's regime and are backing reconstruction efforts. The Gulf countries has cleared Syria's $15.5 million debt to the World Bank, and it has convinced the Trump administration to lift US sanctions. The Gulf countries are also committed to major rebuilding investments. These efforts are motivated by a shared goal of countering Iranian influence, stabilizing the region, encouraging diplomatic outreach between Ahmad al-Shara's Syria and Israel. However, Israel's strategic objectives and continued conflict in Syria's south remains major obstacles. So thus we can conclude there is fragile unity and unfinished peace. Despite a change in leadership, Syria's path to peace remains complex. There are ethnic divisions, unresolved civil grievances, geopolitical rivalries continue to challenge national integration. Thus, the central government's authority remains contested, especially in outlying regions where armed militias and ethnic groups asserts autonomy. Hope you have understood the recent dimensions prevalent in Syria and the history behind it. If you have liked the video, do share and subscribe the channel. Thank you.